everybody, it's Rich and Captain Chris here with the Hook Mash. So Chris is here today tying up some of LJ's jigs. He's been here tying up for lots of people today, making up parachutes for tandems, for umbrellas, for all kinds of stuff. And so for this seminar, what we wanted to talk about was the leaders. So you got your baits rigged up. You need to get a line between that and the main line somehow, so it gives something to kind of grab onto, bring the fish in. So depending on the kind of lure you use, it's going to be different for different leader lengths and material. So let's start with some of the trolling stuff. That's what we're doing a lot of today. You have tandem leaders, and then the leader from your frame to your, we'll start with an easy one. From your frame of an umbrella to the parachute, you're going to have these really short leaders. And I don't know what you use on the boat. I usually make these at 80-pound tests. You want them a little heavier. It's overkill for striped bass, but it lasts longer, holds up a little bit better. Do you have a particular length you like? Do anything kind of in between, or arm's length? There you go. So we make them here in house just for consistency purposes. We measure about 19 inches worth of mono, and then we have the snap swivel, so it works out about the same. Yeah. You can go longer if you want, but with these leaders, we want to try to keep the bait pretty close to these sheds. We don't want it too far away, but we also don't want this to be up inside of the shed. So, you know, something along those lines is what we like. With anything 60-80 pound test, I'm going to crimp. So you don't really like tying in your line. You can tie it, but I'm going to crimp it. I think it's a little cleaner. I like the strength of these a little bit better. There's a lot of different. There's a couple different sleeves on the market. We have single barrel sleeves. We have these double barrel sleeves. Either one works well. A lot of these sleeve companies will tell you the size, but if you flip the package over, they'll actually tell you the size line that they're designated for. So that makes it really easy to go in and match the sleeve to the size of the line that you're using. And then you want to obviously make sure you have a good pair of crimpers with you. I would prefer using crimpers that are designed for crimping monofilament fishing line rather than like the electrician's crimpers and stuff. These are designed to be sized to the sleeves that you're going to be buying. So you definitely want to get yourself a pair of one of these if you're doing a lot of rigging for this stuff. So let's talk about tandem leaders. So obviously, you start a boat, you're running a lot of tandems. What are your lengths for leaders on tandems?
My preference is I do, on my short bait, I do 1 arm length and then half. And then on my long one, I do 3 arm length. Okay. Run a lot of 4 ounce, 2 ounce, or 4 and a 6. Run all different color shads, chartreuse, white, glitter, green, the purple, the tsunamis, of course. Pretty much a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I kind of do some of the same thing when I make my tandems. I'll do an arm's length for the long, and then 2 arms lengths for the short, or for the long, and 1 arm length for the short. So it just depends. You can make them a little longer here or there. Good rule of thumb is you want your heavier bait to be half the distance that the leaders of the longer bait. You want to have that kind of separation. And then when you're rigging your tandems, it's really important too, with the head size of the parachute, we like to have, we kind of generally say about 2 ounces difference between the two, with the heavier one being 2 ounces or more heavier than the lighter. And that just kind of helps them keep separated in the water column. You don't want them to run into each other. It turns into another tangle, exactly. So another leader that we make in-house here is a leader that would go from your frame of your umbrella to the line off the rod to the snap swivel, just because you'll like your leader to kind of grab onto, get a hold of things, because this is rather short. When you're reeling up, especially if you're using braid, you want to have some kind of leader between your braid and your frame. You don't want to have to wait to grab this with all of this in the way when the fish gets close. So having that leader in front is really important. So we make those up here at the store. Leader length on those, 8-6 feet. You don't need them super long, just long enough to get something to grab onto, get a hold of the fish, to get it close to the boat. Let's talk about leader material. So there's mono and there's fluorocarbon. So we actually sell a lot of these wristlet spools. You get 50 yards worth of all different size lines. 50, 60, 80 are the popular sizes for most of the stuff we do here in the bay, springtime. As the summer wears on, we can drop down into lighter sizes if we want to. And then, of course, fluorocarbon is really popular with leaders. Don't really think you need fluorocarbon for most of the springtime trophy stuff. We stick with mono. Fluorocarbon can get really expensive, especially in the heavier sizes. But when we get to leaders for our jigging stuff for striped bass in the summertime, I do like switching over to fluorocarbon. I'll probably stick somewhere in the 15, 20, 25, maybe 30 pound test leader for that. That's going to be more abrasion resistant, and you know, fluorocarbon's not invisible. We like to say it is, but it's harder to see in the water. It doesn't refract light like mono does. It's not as shiny, so it's going to have a little bit of stealth quality to it. But more than anything, it's just going to be abrasion resistant, so you're not changing your leader as often, doesn't get chewed up as much, which is nice. So that's a good thing for fluorocarbon. So let's talk about adding weight to your leader to get your baits deeper. So I'm a fan of running kind of lighter, medium-sized weight baits rather than running heavier stuff, because if I need to bring my baits up in the water column, I can't take out weight of an 8-ounce parachute head. So I can run a lighter head, and I can simply add inline sinkers to try to get my baits deeper, and it allows me to change the size of the sinkers to change the depth without having to drop them back too far or bring them too close to the boat. One of the easy ways to do that is with a double snap. Double snap is just that. It's a swivel with 2 snaps on it, and it's pretty easy. On the boat, we've got a bunch of these all rigged up. As you can see, we've got a bunch of them here in different weights. We leave them on the boat with those snap swivels on them ready to go. And to add them, it's really simple. You're going to open this open end, put it right on your frame, close that, and then the rod will snap here. And if you're running braid, you'll have your leader with a snap swivel that'll go here. And that's pretty much it. There's really no need to put a leader between this and the frame. Some people feel like this is kind of an interference with the fish. I always joke around, if they're looking at this, they've completely missed this, so it's really not that big of a deal. So that would work fine, and you can attach your rod right there, and that'll add whatever weight you need to help get this bait to go down a little bit deeper, if this fish are a little bit deeper for you.
The only thing I would add to this is that when you let it out, you got to let it out kind of slow, because if not, this weight will wrap around, and then your umbrella is pulling like this, all crocked, and it's not good.
Yeah, and that's a really important thing. Even without the weights, you really want to put your baits back slow.
Yes.
Even with parachutes, a single parachutes or a tandem, you want to put your baits in the water. When you deploy your baits, you want to drop them in the water and stop letting them out. Look at them under the water. Make sure that the tail's moving. Make sure that the hair is going back right. Nothing's fouled up with your umbrellas. Make sure none of your swivels got wrapped around. That can create things to spin and twist out there, and just it causes a lot of problems. So take your time. Look at the baits. When they look good, slowly let them back. You're not in a hurry, you're out there for a while. So it's more important to get them out
I
there.
got a little trick with that too, is turn on the clicker on the reel.
Yep.
If you turn that on, it lets the line out a little bit slower.
It's
So
resistance.
that way you're letting it out, it's just not flying out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, what other leaders do we cover? That's pretty much it, yeah. Keep it pretty simple. Yes, we have a question in the audience.
Tell them about winter jellies and checking your lines.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, that's a huge, huge thing. So in the summertime and in the early spring, we still have the winter jellies around, and so you want to check your baits on a regular basis. It's a good idea to check them, bring them in, make sure they're clean. There's debris out there. You'll catch leaves, you'll catch all kinds of stuff, sticks, you'll catch all kinds of crap out there. So you want to make sure that your baits are nice and clean. It's really important. So reel your baits in occasionally. When we're running planer boards, we'll reel an entire side in. We'll have our baits out, we're trolling around, whether we've caught fish or not. We're going to start reeling things in and check them. Make sure there's nothing on them. You will get jellyfish on them. It's a good idea to keep a little comb on the boat. You can comb them off with the hair right into the water, so you don't have to touch them or anything like that. But you definitely want to keep your baits nice and clean. That's really important. Well, we hope this helped you guys out. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to give us a call at the shop or stop by and see us. And we hope you guys stop by for the rest of the day or tomorrow to take advantage of our Penn Sales event. And we thank you guys for tuning in, and good luck out there. Have fun.
Thank you.